Hello there, Padawan learners, Jedi Masters, and lore legends. Welcome to the Bendu Podcast, where we talk all things Star Wars.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 18 of the Bendu Podcast, where we seek balance in the Force. We just have the three amigos again tonight. We have no N64 Josh, so there'll be no Raymond jokes. Don't worry, guys.
Well,
but we
not guaranteed.
Nate still got some in last week, or last time.
All right.
It was relevant.
Yes, that's
it
true.
was relevant.
It was relevant. Yes. Yes, it was very relevant. So we just got Crawler and Nate and myself tonight, and we got a pretty good lineup to talk about tonight. So lots of fun stuff to talk about. We're gonna, go over just a little bit of news. We got Star Wars Day coming up. We're gonna talk some Lego Star Wars because I think now we've all had a chance to play it, so we can give our little review of it. So guys, if you're watching us for the first time, thank you for joining us. We do this every other week. We talk Star Wars. We have a super secret Discord that's in our description down below that you can jump into if you like it. Also, some huge news for us is we just released 6 DMCA-free Star Wars lo-fi beats. You can find them on the Apple Store. You can listen to them on Spotify. You can listen to them on YouTube. And if you want to put them behind your YouTube videos, you want to, put it in your streams, you can. You won't get a DMCA because we own it. So, yeah, if you want to do that, it's pretty awesome. But yeah, I think that's about it for the announcements. Oh yes. And there was also this new thing with Twitter communities. I don't know if you guys saw this, but, if you're following the Bendu Podcast on Twitter, we have a little community that you can join, and it's just tweets for everyone just talking about Star Wars. So that's pretty awesome. I feel like there was something else. Am I forgetting something else? I feel like there's something else. Oh, if you're watching us or listening to us on Spotify, you can now see the video. So
fancy.
There's that. We got all that technological stuff now, man. We're getting really fancy. Yeah. So just some real quick tidbits here, guys, before we jump into Star Wars Day. Just some newsworthy things that I thought should be mentioned for all the Star Wars fans is that there is now being confirmed that the Loki composer is the composer for the Obi-Wan series, which, dude, the Loki music was on point.
All the Marvel music's been on point. So,
yeah,
honestly, all the Star Wars music's been on point. So, I would say this is good news, but the one area that I wouldn't be worried about with Star Wars is the music.
Is the music, yeah. I mean, you got the legacy of John Williams there, and next best thing is Marvel. Marvel always seems to do really well. Also, there's confirmation, I should say, that the Imperial Royal Guards will be in Andor, so that will be in the show. So that he will be, I shouldn't say them, I guess, the Royal Guards. We don't even know what they are. So, yeah. And then season 2,
are they going to be blue or are they going to already be in the red?
That's a good question because the Coruscant Guards had the old school Mandalorian armor and they were blue. So,
it probably depends on how close Andor is to, A New Hope and Rogue One.
Yeah.
Well, and we didn't see Royal Guards in original trilogy until Jedi.
That's
yeah.
true.
They were in Clone Wars, but that was it.
Did they? Did they? We only
We
talked to the Emperor
Empire
via hologram in Empire. So they got off the shuttle at the beginning, and then you see him in the throne room on the Death Star.
Yeah. So it'll be cool. We'll get to see him, at least a younger version of the Royal Guard, I guess you could say. And I guess Andor already has been confirmed to have a season 2, so they're going to begin filming in November. So
that's good. I think there's a lot to flesh out in that time period.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to hopefully. Rogue One is already in the top 2 or 3 movies for me of all the Star Wars movies. So, and I think it makes New Hope better. So adding depth and more relevance to that character, because you knew that everyone was dying pretty much in that movie. Just spoiler. I mean,
Yeah.
none of them are in the original
They're all
trilogy.
gonna die.
So
They
I mean,
did.
getting to flesh out that character a little bit more. He was a grittier character that you didn't see your main heroes killing Imperials, kind of just backstabbing them like you do at the very beginning of Rogue One. He pulls somebody aside and they weren't even an Imperial; they were just an informant, weren't they? It's been a while since I've rewatched Rogue One. But yeah, he shoots him in the alley so that he doesn't give him away. So it's definitely cloak and dagger kind of James, not necessarily James, but he is a spy. He's a spy, so it is kind of Star Wars James Bond. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's going to be cool to watch.
There's probably room for some post Rebels Hera.
Ooh, I didn't think about that
because there's a decent gap before we
know
Filoni,
that there's Filoni writing.
I mean, he's involved.
I mean, he's involved in all of it. Yeah, so technically, kind of, I guess you can say.
I mean, he shoehorned Hera into Bad Batch, so
yeah, her whole backstory, was all.
So maybe we'll see what happens post Rebels for her.
Yeah. Either way, I'm excited. There's a lot of Star Wars stuff coming up, so a lot of good stuff coming, and we got Star Wars Day. Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you, everyone who are listening to this. If you're listening to it late, or if you're listening to it around the 4th. May 4th. May the 4th be with you. So what do you guys hope we see on Star Wars Day?
Trailer for Andor?
Yeah, I mean, more trailers, more news. We're getting Legos. I'm going to the Lego store this weekend because there's Legos coming out. But Lego.com had a funny thing because they're like, how do you decorate your house for Star Wars Day? That was one of the questions they asked on there. It's like, I don't think anybody decorates their house for Legos Day. Or for Star Wars Day, but
I just wear a shirt.
Yeah, I mean, you got to make sure you're decked out. I got some Star Wars slip-ons with the original trilogy stuff on them, and you got to deck yourself out.
How about this, guys? How about if on Star Wars Day, I wear my Boba Fett helmet and take my lightsaber to work and just wear it all day at work?
You could probably make some good TikToks there.
Dude, I should totally do that and just snap some pictures and stuff and tweet them because I think that would be hilarious. Because everyone at work, which this is really cool. I don't know if I got to tell you guys. One of the guys that just started working with us, he worked at Disney for a while, and he actually was Darth Vader. Like he was the Darth Vader character.
Walking around in the park.
Yeah, he did that. And he also led the lightsaber things that they do at Galaxy Edge. He did that for a while. So I have another friend at work that we can talk Star Wars with, so I'm sure he'd appreciate it.
How many custom lightsabers has he built then? Like at the thing?
That's a good question. I haven't asked him that.
And you gotta inquire if he's got a black kyber crystal then too.
I do. Ooh.
You gotta start taking notes. You got a lot to ask.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so you are just saying trailers. That's what you're wanting.
Yeah, I mean,
game updates.
Bad Batch possibly because that's supposed to be this year, right? And
Ahsoka.
Yeah. I mean,
Mando
there's so much on the horizon that we know very little about. And then, do we get like a 2-minute more featurette kind of something for Obi-Wan? I mean, because we'd be 22 days away from that.
There is talks that we may be getting another trailer, like actual legit, like
I could see that.
Way more stuff in the trailer. So
have we had a gallery? We haven't had a gallery yet for Boba Fett, right?
I think
that that would be nice to release that on Star Wars Day. Give us a couple weeks to watch that leading up to Obi-Wan, because the galleries are so interesting. And it's nice to see kind of that behind, like almost DVD special feature type vignettes for a show that is interesting for a lot of people that they want to, because learning about the volume and all the different and learning about the composer that came up with the music for Mandalorian and all
awesome.
that. Like it's really cool to see those people that are not necessarily in the forefront but behind the scenes, and then the directors roundtables as well, like getting to see all that information. I want more.
Yeah, and we do see some new, like I'm showing here on the screen for you guys watching us live. We do have a few new stills released for the Obi-Wan show, so pretty stoked, man. I mean, that's a good shot of the Inquisitor right there, the Great Inquisitor. But
I've come around on his look, because I think the biggest counter argument to not caring about how the Inquisitor looks in live action is you look at Maul and how he's evolved in the different animation styles and the show and the movie. I mean, it's not the same. It's just, I think it was jarring for a lot of people that we've had just one. When you only have one instance of something, you kind of want it to have that consistency. But
yeah,
and let's be honest, most people won't have seen Rebels who are watching this.
And I saw you guys discussing in our chat, like, it is something I want to do and watch Clone Wars without the fluff and chronologically. And Nate, you were talking that you want to. The option would be nice if Disney Plus would either curate that for you, or if you could create a playlist. Because digging around in seven seasons with 20 plus episodes each season is cumbersome. Yeah.
Because I did do it when I watched it with my son. We're like, all right, we're going chronological, because even the movie, technically, you watch a few episodes and then you watch the movie and then you keep going.
Yeah,
because there's a whole bunch that happens technically before Anakin meets Ahsoka, right?
Oh, there. Yeah, I mean,
there's some clone dedicated ones. There's the whole thing with Zero. Like, again, the movie has a big, because when I first watched Clone Wars, I just let it run.
That's how I watched it. Yeah.
And I hadn't watched the movie. And watching the movie, I'm like, oh, that's where this guy came from.
Yeah.
An annoying Hut that you have to listen to talk in basic and not Huttese.
Yeah. You know, I kind of hope that they do something kind of Marvel style for Star Wars Day, where they actually like just give us a ton of trailers. Like, just here's like 5 or 6 trailers. Enjoy it. You know, like almost like they did for like I think it was Disney Day, where they showed like just a ton of artwork and like here's all the.
I feel like
shows.
They did that with some Star Wars stuff on Disney Day.
Yeah.
Are there any? Do we have any movies in the works right now?
Because movies? I don't think
because
so.
Because
whatever happened to
the Rian Johnson trilogy got canned, right? And then the showrunners from
didn't Deborah Chow
Game of Thrones that got canned as well.
I thought
Deborah Chow was Obi-Wan. She's in Obi-Wan.
Yeah, Deborah. She's solo director.
And I thought she also had, or maybe I'm thinking of someone else who had, like an X-wing one.
There is a Rogue Squadron movie, but that
may be on pause.
Did that get delayed?
That got like Wonder Woman canceled or delayed.
It was the Wonder Woman director.
Yeah. I'd have to look it up, but like, yeah, I think that actually got like canceled because
I thought it was just paused. I thought there was something with her.
It says delayed.
Yeah,
this is from November 8th of last year. Take a little longer to make.
Yeah,
so I think it's just delayed because didn't they have some like key art that they showed? Like, she had a full trailer where she was like, there was like an X-wing flying, like she was by her car in a parking lot or something like that, and an X-wing flew by. I thought there was something.
That's when she was like talking about like how Star Wars had such a big impact on her and things like that, and but
you know who has one? Taka Waititi, however you say his name.
Oh yeah.
Is he getting a feature?
He's getting a movie.
Okay, that's good. I mean, the Thor movies that he's directed are great.
Oh my God.
The episodes that he did in
everything
Mandalorian, and he has other movies that he's been, because I want to watch, what is it, our flag means
Oh God,
death.
that's hilarious.
I've
That's
heard
right.
great things, and I
It's
want to sit
good.
down and watch it.
And
And that's his writing and direction, right? And he
and
stars
he's in
in
it.
And he stars in.
Yeah.
He
He's Blackbeard.
co-stars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's entertaining. And What We
It's
Do in the
good.
Shadows.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's him.
Yeah.
So that's right. I forgot he was getting one. That's just going to be fun.
Well, yeah, and he's hilarious because he puts himself. He either does roles that he knows no one wants to do, where he plays Hitler, or he does great voiceover stuff as Korg or
Yep.
IG-11 or IG-88 or
88. Yeah.
no, 88 is I'm getting mixed up.
IG-11 is
11 is in
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And that's who he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
From what I'm seeing, and I don't know if this is still true, Ryan Johnson does still have one.
They've been going back and forth on that for the last couple of years. I think it's like, oh, he does, oh, he doesn't, oh, he does, oh, he doesn't. I don't know. It just either give the guy a show or don't give him a show, or make it like a Star Wars What If and just let him go ham and like bring in Starkiller or something. I don't know.
Yeah. From what I'm
Yeah.
seeing, everything is just unknown or delayed or TBD.
Yeah.
I mean, because we could there's a potential that Starkiller could be an Obi-Wan. I mean, that time frame matches up, and Andor.
That would be insane, dude. I honestly, I would rather. I don't know if I'd want Starkiller, because to me, Luke is like the Jedi in that era. And if there is a Starkiller, then Luke is just kind of a peon
Before
compared to him.
it is. I mean, it's kind of before Luke.
Yeah.
I mean, there's kind of overlap
Yeah.
if once you get closer to it. But
I mean, I feel like what they would do is just find a way to kill him off before.
Yeah. Or I'd want Kyle.
Because otherwise, it
Cal
doesn't make
Kestis.
sense.
Yeah. I mean,
He really
he's so
is the
freaking
same
powerful.
Luke then.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I
that's
can't
what,
wait till May the 4th. Yeah. And I am gonna do that. I think I am gonna wear my Boba Fett helmet and bring my lightsaber to work. I gotta do it. I think I gotta do it. So all right, guys. So I think we can roll into Lego Star Wars Saga, Skywalker Saga. I have a little B-roll from a little bit of my play, so don't hold it against me, guys. It wasn't the greatest. I was still learning how to play.
Where did you start?
It's okay. So true story. I started at New Hope, right? I started on New Hope, and I completed it, and then I was going to go to episode 1 and play through that, and I accidentally saved over my save file, and I lost all of this that I completed. And I took my time looking for all the Kyber bricks, everything.
Yeah, so you probably
man.
had decent progress that you wiped out.
I did. And I was so sad. I was like, no. Oh man. And it was so funny. Like New Hope is just hilarious. There are so many funny moments in this game that I mean it's been the best Star Wars game we've got since probably Jedi Fallen Order.
Have we gotten any others since Jedi Fallen Order?
You know what? I don't know. That's a good point.
Maybe Squadrons, but
I mean, yeah,
Squadrons.
Squadrons.
I guess, yeah, you can count Squadrons. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's like there was this. I think the thing that I loved about it the most, that I was just like, okay, this is a really good Star Wars game. As you can see me trying to figure out how to use those ones you can only move with the Jedi. I think that what I like the most is when you're actually in that opening scene and you're going through as R2 and you run into the stormtroopers. They're like in the shower and one that's doing
there's a hot tub scene.
Yes. Yeah. So it's like room taken. It's like I was like, no, this is perfect, man. This is just it was so good. But
yeah, the game is very self-aware and it's funny because of that.
Yeah. Have y'all run into any bugs or anything like that? Because I'm playing on PC and I do have a few bugs and a few issues here and there with the game.
So I've been playing I'm further on my Switch playthrough than I am on Xbox.
Yeah.
But I started the original trilogy on Xbox and prequel trilogy on Xbox and original trilogy on Switch. I don't think I've run into too much. I mean, the Switch is just a little bit muddy in comparison, but I think I've heard that there are the most bugs or potential for bugs on the PC version.
Yeah. I had one instance. I'm on episode. I finished episode 1. I finished episode 2, but there's a section of episode 2 where you're on Geonosis and you're going through like the factory as Padme and Anakin, and my frames dropped to like 13. It was weird, and it was only in that particular spot in the story. So I think maybe there was just like too much going on or something.
Were the
for
droid
game.
foundries like actually moving and doing stuff?
Yeah, like there's just so much going on. I think it was just too much for the game, and it just,
I did see criticism. I don't know if it's Star Wars. I don't know. There's so many Star Wars Lego games, but I think somebody had a comparison to the Battle of Geonosis in a previous version versus what it looks like in this version, and it was very lackluster in terms of characters on screen in the Battle of Geonosis in this version.
You have no clone battle, that's for sure. Like I was hoping you would get to see some clones and maybe like run out as Mace or Yoda or something like that and get on that big battlefield and fight something. But I felt like episode 2 was like pretty fast playthrough. Like even for the same episode 1, like of course I didn't spend a lot of time getting like the Kyber bricks and finding all the little secret spots because I was like, I'll just come back to this because there's so many replayable areas.
I'm only in Theed right now. I just went through Uthagunga and did the travel through the core and all that kind of stuff. Theed seems a little daunting. Like it's a very big place to wander around. So it's like I haven't spent a whole lot of time doing that. But a lot of these areas I think are definitely built to come back as Boba or Mando with a jetpack and go explore that way.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to get through it like you are, just so I can explore. But I mean, the core game is just great. Like definitely worth it. I would 100% recommend picking it up if you're a Star Wars fan.
Are you playing it, Nate?
Yep, I've done episode 1 because I'm only playing when my son's around. So because he wants to watch it. He played a little co-op with me, but it was a little more than he wanted to do. He enjoys just watching it. But it's just been
drop in, drop out kind of stuff?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, there'll be a little prompt that'll pop up.
Does C-3PO follow you around even though you split them apart?
Yes, I took them apart and it took me forever to figure out how to put them back together. You have to switch to him and then you can reassemble yourself. But I was like, how do I do? I was like picking him up and throwing his upper half because I didn't know what to do. I was like, I don't know. I'm sorry, C-3PO. Yeah. But I mean, there's just some great moments in this game, man. I really enjoyed this game.
And the flying actually feels pretty good.
The flying feels the best in this game.
I know.
Yeah. It feels really good. Like
and some of them go to like old school Star Fox 64, like free roam, and you can fly around a little bit. And yeah,
the trench run was really cool, and there's just some great hilarious moments in there. I'm not going to ruin them for some of you guys that may not have played it yet, but yeah, there's some good moments in there, and the lightsabers feel really good.
Yeah,
like
the mall fight was good.
Yeah, it really was, and like your force push and your force pull and all that stuff, like it feels really good. Like the only thing that it felt a little weird at first for me was the shooting, because it has if you use the aim assist, it locks on, so it takes it just a second to unzoom out of your shot. So that was like the only thing that felt a little odd to me for maybe the first 5 or 10 minutes of playing until I got used to it. But once I got used to it, like you can see right here on the screen playing, it was pretty easy to aim and shoot stuff.
Yeah, it's a decent third-person shooter, just over the shoulder. It feels they did a great job with the game.
Yeah. I don't have like, other than a few bugs here and there on PC. I mean, this game has been great. Been really fun. So go buy it. That's what I'll say. That's the mule seal of approval. So since we're on video games, we might as well talk about this new thing that was recently announced with Amy Hennig. I think is it Hennig or Hennig? Yeah, Hennig. She originally did, for you guys that play video games, Uncharted, and she was gonna do like an open world RPG Star Wars game, and that got canned. I think that was supposed to be through. Is that through EA? That was supposed to go through.
Yes, I think that was Respawn even.
Yeah,
Wasn't it?
I think so.
Maybe not.
Respawn still
No,
has
maybe
two
not.
Star Wars games going, don't they?
They still. I think this was through EA. I don't think it was like assigned to anybody.
It may be a studio that's not there anymore, or like they've disbanded essentially.
But I got the article pulled up, and I'll put it here in chat for you guys that are watching us live. But what's interesting is they didn't really give too much detail. Just kind of
not even the type.
No, it makes me think it's got to be RPG though. With Amy doing it, it's got to be some type of story-driven, maybe single-player RPG.
Maybe not necessarily RPG, because Uncharted is not an RPG.
That's true.
Uncharted is just a action adventure.
Especially like the early.
I mean, revisit 1313. Like that's the gameplay.
That's what I was wondering.
Who owns the rights to 1313? Who was doing that originally? Was that LucasArts before they closed?
I don't know. That's a good question. I'll have to find that. If you're listening to the podcast and tweet at us at the Bendu Podcast and tell us.
Video game so Wikipedia says video game in development at LucasArts.
Maybe they still own it. Maybe I mean
maybe
this is through Sundance or Skydance. Sorry.
It being announced on StarWars.com though makes me think Lucas Films will be involved in it.
Yeah, could definitely be. We don't even have a date or anything. We just know that basically it's a studio that partnered with Marvel Entertainment. So, yay, a new Star Wars game, but we don't know much.
I mean, at some point, Mando has kind of taken the helm of Star Wars. Mando could get a game. I mean, the Jango Fett game was kind of something to behold back in its day. It was definitely limited by the GameCube and the PS2 that it was on. But it was something cool to be able to fly around with a jetpack. It was one of the first games that kind of just give you that freedom to just go explore a little bit in what was kind of a linear sense, but you had that freedom to kind of get the feel for as a Mandalorian.
Yeah. Well, I've been saying this for years, but I think if they ever made a co-op open world RPG Star Wars game, it would just like even if you make it live service, and I hate saying that because everyone does live services, but I think if you had like guilds or clans or like it would just be
Republic.
Yeah, it would be like even if it's High Republic. I just feel like Star Wars fans are craving some type of co-op experience in an open world, like a Destiny or like an Assassin's Creed, something like that. But that's not a freaking MMO,
And we have Hunters that is supposed to come out this year. I mean, we haven't heard much about that.
That's like an arena shooter.
That's going to be an arena something. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like a mobile game.
Details are very light on that right now.
Yeah.
Is it mobile and Switch, or is it Switch exclusive? I don't even remember.
Maybe it's just Switch.
I know it's console exclusive to the Switch, but I don't know if it's going to have a mobile aspect to it.
Yeah. I'd have to relook at it, but yeah, I mean, and the thing is, we don't have anything coming. I mean, we don't even know when Jedi Fallen Order 2 is supposed to come out, right? Like,
and Eclipse, is it Eclipse got pushed way out?
Like, what was that? 2020?
Have we ever had a hard date for Eclipse anyway?
No,
I don't think so.
That was a Sony type move where they show a game way before it was ever realized.
Yeah.
So it's pushed. Who knows if it was ever really on target for
stay on target. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know though, but I feel like with Amy, like there we go, there it is. I feel like with Amy, like I have a lot of faith because I love the Uncharted games. Like I played through 1 and 2. I think I started 3.
It's like playing a movie. That's what
that is.
Especially the first one.
Yeah. It's
playing an Indiana Jones game. I mean movie. Mm-hmm. So
yeah. And I think, you know, if we can get something like that, like for us Star Wars fans, we'd just love it. Because all we have right now is like a what is it, like a 11-year-old MMO through Star Wars: The Old Republic or Knights of the Old Republic. Jedi Fallen Order that's what, 3 years old now, something like that. And
with a sequel promised in we still don't even know who the character is going to be.
I would say, is it promised or is it speculated still?
For Jedi Fallen Order 2?
Yeah.
No,
I
it's
think
coming.
that is promised.
Okay.
Yeah.
Respawn has two of their 3 teams. There's the Apex team, which is the old Titanfall team, which I wish they would transition back to Titanfall, but that's another conversation somewhere else.
That'll never.
Yeah.
That's like wishing there'll be single player GTA.
They have the Jedi Fallen Order team, which is making the sequel, and then I think they spun out either part of or out of the Jedi Fallen Order team. I think they created a new a third team that is making a secondary Star Wars game.
Yeah,
which I don't remember. It's not. Is that the one with the developers from Civilization? Is that the? Because one of the proposed Star Wars games that's coming is from like the Civ, like some devs that have worked on Civ.
you know, I'm not sure. Which
that would get us. That wasn't Galaxies. Galaxies was the precursor to the MMO, but wasn't there like an OG Warcraft type?
I'm sure there was something
like
RTS.
I think it was a Star Wars
Wasn't there an RTS?
I mean, there was a ton of mobile games, but I don't think there was an RTS. I think it was just Galaxies and then Jedi the Old Republic.
I would love to see. I mean, we're kind of talking. We can. I think I'm going to pull this into the next video game conversation that we're having. But like some of the original stuff that I remember playing was Rebel Assault 1, Rebel Assault 2, TIE Fighter, and Dark Forces. So like, I would, and those games definitely have aged. I mean, I would like to see. Like there was some story in there that was pretty cool. I would like to see something that could maybe remaster that. I know Asper, however you say it, the company that's doing they've done a lot of the ports and upreses of the classic Star Wars games, and then they're also working on the new remaster for Knights of the Old Republic. But they're on board with doing a Rogue Squadron remake if there's demand, and then the original developers from Factor 5 like gave their seal of approval. I don't know if Nintendo or LucasArts, who owns kind of the rights to the unfinished or like the completely finished but never published third game in the Rogue Squadron trilogy, like that would be so cool to get a Rogue Squadron, Rogue Leader, and an unpublished Rogue Squadron sequel.
There was a Rogue Squadron 3.
Was there?
On GameCube, yeah.
That's Rogue
was
Leader.
It th- that's Rogue Leader.
And that's the was there a second one on N64?
I thought so.
Well, there's a third or fourth game. I don't remember what it is, but an unfinished like
Rebel Strike. It was on GameCube.
Huh. So there's Rogue Leader and then Rebel Strike?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Interesting.
But I mean, that would be cool. I remember playing so much on my 64 of Rogue Squadron. Like that was there was you got to see planets a lot of times that you only read about in the EU. You got to go to Cornelia and some other planets as well. Like you didn't have to take down AT-ATs just on Hoth. There were more places to take them down.
God, I struggled taking those AT-ATs down so much.
Yeah, you had to you just had to get that perfect circle going to fly around.
Love that game.
There were some train attack missions. Like they could tie that in with the train heist from Solo a little bit. Like there's some cool stuff that they could probably even just find more updated stuff to do a new game. And
do we need another flying game though with Star Wars? Do we?
I mean, we've been like, I need to finish that campaign because that was kind of it was fairly cinematic. You can definitely tell it's a VR game, but Star Wars Squadrons did have a story to it to kind of follow a little bit.
Yeah, I mean the cinematics were great in that game. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong, but the flying
just
off.
Being in the cockpit. Yeah, I mean,
well, it's the real sim flying focus first.
Yeah, you got to focus. You got to change the thrusters and shields and
It's not your Battlefront 2 or the OG
or Lego Star Wars
1. Dude, I'm telling the flying felt amazing in Lego Star Wars though. Like it was so easy to pick up, and I think that's why I liked it so much. Like it just felt amazing to fly around like that. Like even the fight you have with Boba Fett, it felt good. Or Jango Fett, sorry.
Jango Fett through the asteroid.
It just felt good. It felt good, man.
The end of episode 1 felt fun with Anakin.
Yeah.
Now this is pod racing.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we got a lot to look forward to. Star Wars Day. I mean, we got Lego Star Wars that's out right now. We got more Star Wars games coming out. We got Kenobi coming out soon. Rumors for Rogue Squadron. And then something that I thought was kind of interesting that we can kind of be our last segment here on the podcast is there's rumors that Hayden Christensen, sorry, is possibly reappearing in projects after Obi-Wan. So we could get more and more Darth Vaders, maybe some Force Ghost Anakins. Like, I mean, we read on the last podcast, that excerpt from the Shadow of the Sith book that's coming out about Anakin showing up as a Force Ghost to help Luke. So
true.
Could we see more of that, you think?
I mean, or is there a passive Darth Vader in Andor a little bit? I mean,
true. I mean, we could see some Darth Vader in that.
Or potentially, I mean, how cool would it be if Force Ghost Anakin came to Ahsoka and talked to her?
That could be.
Or even Luke in the Mandalorian season 3 or something like that. Or like, I just loved how the fans are actually being nice to him. Yeah. I like how he's kind of having a little bit of a redemption, you know, like he had it so bad from the prequels that
it was just poor writing. It was poor writing.
I mean, not even that. Like some of the fans were just really rough on him. So it's just
Sam.
So it's just nice to see him kind of having his time to come back into Star Wars. I believe he's going to be at Star Wars Celebration.
And that's in Anaheim this year, right?
Yeah, it's actually at Disney. So I want to go so freaking bad. Star Wars, if you're listening, please send me. I've told you all the story. I think I've told it on the podcast. Being part of the EA Creator Program, they sent us a few years ago to Disney, a part of EA Play. And I literally stood just outside of Galaxy's Edge, but didn't get to go in. It was before they opened it up. So I was just like, it was just torture, man.
Yeah.
Torture. Yeah. So any other thoughts, guys? Any other things to discuss here that maybe we missed? We don't have Josh here for our random Star Wars questions and Ray jokes and all that. So
I mean, there could be a game where we have to go and find Ray's mom.
This is true. Yeah. I think next podcast, I have a topic for us that we can do a little debate on. And I was thinking it would be really fun for us all and get maybe some community members in if they want to come in and discuss it as well. Who's at fault for Anakin's fall to the dark side? I think I saw that floating around the internet as a Twitter feed a while ago. I think it would be really fun for us to talk about it on the next podcast and just ham it up and kind of go at each other. Because I think we will have varying opinions. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, especially with the eve of Obi-Wan coming out, because there's lots to dissect there, and there's guilt and other things that weigh on Obi-Wan, I think, with all of that.
Yeah. Is it Obi-Wan's fault? Is it Mace's fault? Is it the Jedi's fault? Is it just Palpatine? Is it Anakin's fault? Like, I think it'd be a fun discussion for the next podcast.
Is it Padme's fault?
Is it Padme's fault?
The writer's
Dang! Yeah, is it the writer's fault?
It's George's fault. That's who
It's George's fault.
Yeah. You shouldn't have sold it, man. Yeah. Well, guys, I think that about wraps it up. I think that's we had a pretty good talk. We got no Ray Mong jokes. We didn't have Josh's, random Star Wars facts. So that usually we get sidetracked with that usually.
We probably got one more episode to get in before Josh is watching episodes on the podcast just as we're discussing them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like he did with Visions when we talked about Visions. He was watching an episode while we were trying to. I'm like, bro, come on, man, you had one job. Well, guys,
with Bad Batch too.
He did. I think he did because he didn't finish like the last episode or something like that, and I think he was like, yeah, I think he was watching it while we were podcasting. So, we are pro podcasters here. Let me tell you. Well, guys, thanks for joining us. Make sure you visit mulehorngaming.com. Click on the podcast menu for more great podcasts like the Halo Infinite podcast. Make sure you subscribe and like for future episodes that we have released all over the internet. You can find us everywhere. We're just everywhere. Check out the description below for great ways that you can help support the podcast. And remember,
the Force will be with you always.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you, Master.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with us all.